rapped about stuff like that, and they've been around for years,
Exactly.
decades.
Okay, we have a caller we're going to go to in just a second. So stand by for just a second, Pastor C and Ambezi, while we take our caller.
Hi, Chief. I'm Pastor C. I am Ambezi.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. I've just been listening to you guys' show, and I cannot agree with you guys more on the fakeness, as you can explain it, from some of these rappers. The thing is that I believe it is that it sells. You can go into things like social media, and you can see people like Lil Tay, who's a 9-year-old who flexes about having mansions, cars, and jewelry. Or you can look at Woe Vicky, who got famous. It was a Caucasian woman who was famous for claiming that she was black, and it's clearly evidence she wasn't. Or you can go to people like Supreme Patty, who is famous for just doing incredibly outrageous stuff. And I think this is the type of things that sell in today's media, and these are the type of things that get people famous. So rappers play a part. They see that and they play a part of it. Now, granted, you'll have not like for me personally, I favor you can go back to the BET 2013 Cypher. Rappers like those, J-Rock, Ab-Soul, Kendrick Lamar, they never have to worry about any of that kind of stuff of what today's mama rappers go through. But I feel like the main problem is how it sells in today's media.
I agree with
I
that.
agree.
I agree with that, caller, and that's great. And we really appreciate your insight. I think that entertain. I'm sorry.
You're still on the air.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's my piece. I feel like
You can't hear us.
today's media goes for that type of just outrageousness, and they have a fancy for it, and that's what sells, and that's what people go for. So that's why a reason why people like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, they're famous, but I'm sure there's other rappers out there that just don't make it to that kind of level of success because this level of mumble rap has completely flooded media, and that's all people see. That's all that gets
It's
noticed.
true. But
Well, thank you, caller.
Thank you guys. I love you guys' show.
Thanks, you man. Thank you.
Thank you.
as much as I do agree with the points that he was making, I still believe that you do not have to make music that is violence oriented to be famous, because these people now, like Lil Pump, for example, yes, he is super famous now, everybody knows him, but I doubt, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I doubt that he'll have the same kind of longevity as Jay-Z, as artists like that. And I just don't, I really don't think it's necessary. But at the same time, it's like, going back to what Pastor C said, no matter what people say in songs, we should have the common sense to separate what we see and enjoy seeing and enjoy hearing from real life.
Sure.
I listen to these people. Like, I'm sitting here complaining about these people, but I still listen to them. They have some bangers, but I'm able to go home and do my schoolwork and do things perfectly fine. But it's like you said, people are immature and they are in the social media world.
Well, I would say this. I don't know if you guys know the major audience and consumer of rap music.
Oh, I know.
It is... I mean, do you guys know?
Who would that be, Pastor C?
Who would that be, Ambezi?
Caucasian.
Well, young
Caucasian.
young people.
Yeah.
And I believe this. I think that a lot of them are trying to be something that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So
sort of like a fetish. They're fetishizing this lifestyle, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, you have some African Americans as well, every ethnic group,
Yep.
that are very naive, and they look at these entertainers and they don't have the maturity
Mm-hmm.
to distinguish fake
Mm-hmm.
or fiction and reality. They do not. And so they embrace the picture that is being painted,
Mm-hmm.
and they never take into consideration this may not be the truth.
Right.
I mean, we can go way back to the East Coast West Coast beef when Tupac and Biggie were killed. That's my generation, where their personal lives were so integrated in rap music, and you know, people want to be thugs and gangbangers and stuff like that, and they're rapping about things, and their subliminal messages created beef, and now two individuals are dead, and they're no longer here over what and for what.
For some songs.
Now you can't even spend the money that you talked about you had. You can't even drive the car that you talked about you had. And to me, there is no type of prosperity or no type of life in that at all. And so when you see a 20-year-old being killed in a car, yes, he was robbed, but he was a part of a culture that promoted violence, and I'm a thug and this and that, F the world. And so you have a lot of rebellious millennials and other generations as well that will grab hold of that type of language, and it encourages their rebellion.
Right.
And so I just feel like it needs to be interrupted by the entertainer. However, it will mess up their bottom line,
which is the money.
Exactly.
That they make from it.
Well, we've covered quite a few topics tonight around this subject. And Pastor C and Ambezi, I just want to thank you for all of the amazing conversation and some of the insight that you presented to us and to our listeners. We just appreciate you being here for our inaugural broadcast, and we apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we had today, but it's only going to get better.
Exactly.
So with that being said,
it only goes up from here, folks.
Yeah.
It only goes up. It can only go up. So I'm going to let Pastor C and Ambezi give us some final words, and then we will see you next Wednesday, 6 o'clock on the West Coast, and of course 9 o'clock if you're on the right side of the world.
All right. Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a great conversation. And again, as the chief said earlier, we love rock music. We love the culture. We love all these creative beings be able to express themselves. But please stay safe. Please enjoy this music without putting your life at risk. And with that being said, I am out.
Ambezi, Chief, I appreciate sharing this time with you guys. I will go out with this bang. Of course, I'm a pastor, and I'm always trying to shed some light where individuals can change the trajectory of their lives. I do want to say that there is nothing wrong with rap music.
Yes.
God wants us to tap into our creative selves, but I do not believe that you have to lose yourself to learn your creative self.
Absolutely.
Be who you are.
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.
You're listening to Straight No Chaser, the only show to quench your talk radio thirst.